to look at this core value sheet, and you and this is just here to help you figure out what's most important to you. And it kind of helps you overcome whatever obstacles come your ways when you think about, okay, well, I most care about this. You can kind of like dodge some of the hard things in life. And it can also get you focused on, what are you living for? Like, what's the point? What's the whole point of this? And so you pick your top 3, and we're going to take those top 3 and we're going to put them into an artwork. And so I'll show you in just a couple minutes. It only takes about 5 minutes to make this. I'll show you how to make one. So you start out in mandalagaba.com, and in mandalagaba.com, we open up a new screen. So if you've worked in here before, open up a new screen, and that's a new session. And for this image on my screen, I'm just making the backgrounds black. And we're gonna just draw on here a mask, or like a skull. And the skull just represents thinking about everybody's gonna die someday. And so how are we gonna live between now and then? And so I'm gonna just set the backgrounds. And so what I do is I drag this slider and I hit a paint bucket. And then I bring the slider back up so it gets brighter colors, and I choose a brighter color. And then I just draw a question mark. So you draw a question mark on the right-hand side of your screen, and then you connect that question mark back to the middle. So you're just basically drawing a question mark and then connecting it back to the middle. But when you draw it, you choose this tool called Mirror and Translate. So your setting at the top, set it as 1, hit enter. Then you set this setting as Mirror and Translate. Looks like little horns, so choose the one that looks like horns. We're on the pencil tool, and you pick a light color that stands out on your background. And then you draw a question mark. And you're going to draw the question mark on the right-hand side. So you can write a question mark, you can draw one. So you draw a question mark, and then you connect it right back to the middle. So make sure your mouse connects the top and the bottom so that it's a solid shape. And then we use this paintbrush, and we just click, and we click with that lighter color, and it'll fill that space in. If you don't connect at the bottom and the top, it won't fill in. Then we go into the pencil tool, and I'm going to choose black this time. And depending on the emotion you want to show in the face, you can draw different angles, but basically we're just going to draw eye holes. Now, if you want it to look a little bit sad, you tilt it up at the top. And if you want it to look a little angry, you would kind of tilt down towards the middle. And again, you want to close the shape, like end where you began. And if you don't like it, you hit this undo button. And if you want it to just be straight, you go like this. Then in the middle, we draw a triangle. And at the bottom, you write one of the words that is really important to you. So for me, truth is really important. And then you write one of your other words that's really important to you. And you write your last word that's really important to you on the skull somewhere. Where you put it is up to you. Right, and then the last thing I do in this skull is I just set it at 5, and I draw a little petal in the middle. And so 5 is the setting up here, and I just hit 5 and enter. And right in the middle, you just draw a little kind of in and out shape. And this will represent the marigold, which is part of the Dia de los Muertos celebration. So if you get that far, that's all it is. And then we just save and share it. And once it loads, you press Alt and you click on it. And so when you Alt click, it shows up something like this. You copy the image and you go into your Google document where you had other artwork, and you're going to paste it into that Google document. Control V is how you paste. And you also go back in and you just copy and paste your link that's up here. So again, that's Alt click on the link, copy the link address, and then go into your document and paste it right there. Once you've pasted in that address, web address, it will let you later, if you make it a link, you can go back later and edit your skull later. And I just highlight it and I hit link here in the Google Doc, and you put that link right in there. And later you can click on it and you can go back and edit it and change it. So in this case, like I want to add color. So I go to my paintbrush and I'm going to fill the eyes with black and the mouth with black. And I'm going to go into my pencil and I'm going to put in some dots. And you can make the dots thicker if you like. And the settings here, whenever you just want to draw regular stuff, I recommend you set the setting as 1. And whenever you do the marigold shape in the middle, you set it as 5. And the reason for a 5 is that the 5 is the number of petals that a marigold has. And in the Catholic and Christian culture, it's also considered the number of grace, or there's just different meanings for 5. But in the case of a marigold, which is the Dia de los Muertos flower, it has 5 petals. So that's why we picked a 5. So, and if you want to add color inside the marigolds, you just bring up your slider for the dark and light, make it light, and you pick some colors that are marigold colors. So I would pick yellows and oranges, and sometimes reds are in the tips of marigolds. And if you don't click exactly inside of a closed shape, it won't fill. So you would just put in the colors that you like. And once you've gotten it to where you want it, again, make sure that you hit the save and share button. Be sure to hit the save and share button. That's important in this. Save and share renders the new version of it. And then you hold down the Alt button on your Chromebook and you copy image. You go over to your document and you always put your new one on top. And then be sure to put in that link that we had right up here. So again, that's Alt click, choose copy link address, then you go back over to your Google document or your Google, some of you have a Google spreadsheet, or I'm sorry, a Google Slides document, so you can put it in there as well. So again, paste it, and you hit this button, and it becomes a link. And then later you can go back and add more imagery, some more patterns or colors or whatever. But I encourage you to make sure that you at least kind of save when you get to this point before anything goes wrong, and then save again. And you get points for every variation you turn in. All right. Hopefully you've paused, and don't try to watch this whole video through, but hopefully you paused in between. And if you didn't, go back, watch just a tiny bit of the video, pause it, and then do it. Pause it and then do it. So watch a little, pause, and then try it yourself.